Hello. Today we will be presenting a proposal to produce and distribute some exciting new technology. Joining me is our team, Camille Hamilton, David Warner, Josh Henry, Kristen Ferris, Nikki Maxon, Tanner West, and I'm Tricia Krentz. We will be discussing the new product, Solnce Bulba, which will be sold in Russia. We will cover the VRIO analysis to determine feasibility, information regarding our competition, advertising, distribution, and sales strategies. We will also discuss the various options for modes of entry, the recommended entry strategy, and risks involved, details of the finished goods being imported into Russia, the sourcing companies to use, and the logistics plans to transport the imported goods into Russia, as well as a brief overview of the proposed executive team for this venture. Seasonal affective disorder, also known as SAD, is very prominent in Russia. One of the major contributing factors to this condition is a lack of sunlight. Because of the geographical location of Russia, this can be a major issue. In fact, last year, Moscow only had 6 minutes of sunlight during the entire month of December. Currently, one of the primary treatments of SAD is for the consumer to sit in front of a special light box or lamp for about 30 minutes every morning. As you can imagine, this can be very inconvenient and cumbersome. Solnce Bulba is a full-spectrum light designed specifically for use in the consumer's existing recessed or track lighting. This light is an effective way to treat SAD. The consumer can enjoy the mood and health-boosting benefits of the light without having to waste precious time sitting idle or storing a cumbersome table lamp when not in use. The bulb has a patent-pending technology which will provide a sustained competitive advantage. Not only will this bulb be highly profitable, but it will also provide a unique treatment option to those who suffer from SAD. In order to determine the viability of this product, we conducted a VRIO analysis looking at its value, rarity, and imitability. The value in this product is primarily in its convenience. Because the bulb is able to be used in existing light fixtures, there is no need for a consumer to be stuck in front of a sun lamp for half an hour every day. They have the freedom to be mobile and go about their daily routine while receiving the necessary treatment. Solnce Bulba is a first bulb of its kind. There are no similar bulbs on the market. There's currently a patent pending on it, which will prevent or delay any competitors from imitating the product. This does give us a sustained competitive advantage. Solnce Bulba will have some competition. Each of these competitors competes in the global and Russian market for SAD. These companies are very large and all are formidable competitors. Despite their size, each competitor has certain weaknesses that can be exploited, resulting in an opportunity for Solnce Bulba to take market share. Verilex sells primarily in the United States and only has an online presence. Shipping lamps to Russia does come with a hefty shipping price. They do not have any products in any brick-and-mortar stores. Although ColemanShip-Phillips is an extremely large company with deep pockets, their focus is split between thousands of items. They do sell dawn simulators that can be effective in treating SAD. However, their marketing focus on their sun lamps are for regulating sleep instead of the treatment of SAD. Their website mentions the treatment of SAD almost as an afterthought. Allergan sells antidepressants, which are also used to treat SAD. They have recently lost 2 major lawsuits and as a result have had to lay a large portion of their staff off in order to address the resulting financial issues. SAD can affect anyone regardless of gender or age. However, the target market we have chosen for this product is Russian women ages 25 to 65 in the mid to upper class who live near Moscow and St. Petersburg with a desire to improve their mental health, as they will bring the most potential to our company. The following categories were used to identify our target market. First, demographics. While we don't want to be exclusive, we feel that those affected by SAD will benefit most. Adult women who are in the mid to upper class would more easily be able to afford our bulbs in their homes. Next, we look at psychographics. Statistically, Russian women are more likely to examine and acknowledge their mental health situation. They will do the research to look for tools and resources to improve, and then will take action. This includes purchasing products or services in an effort to improve their mental health and life. Finally, we looked at geography. Proximity to Moscow and St. Petersburg would allow our bulbs to be distributed more easily and cost-effectively while capitalizing on a more dense population. The brand name for our product is Solnce-Bulba. The positioning statement is Solnce-Bulba is the most convenient light therapy among all sun lamps because existing light fixtures are used. The name was chosen from the translation of sun bulb. We made an effort to form a name that is short and signifies quickly what our product is and does. The logo shown here was chosen to be the best representation of what our product is. This will convey a clear message to the consumer. The bottom is a normal light bulb, and the top is the sun. The Solnce-Bulba would portray the feeling of the sun coming out of the clouds. Our logo communicates exactly what our product does in a clean and simple way. The plan is to sell Solnce-Bulba online, in discount stores, and in pharmacy chains for the most effective retail strategy. In the next 4 years, it is expected that there will be approximately 847 million Russian consumers who shop online. We will capitalize on this trend through online sales. Research shows that discount stores currently have the largest market share in Russia. And pharmacies are located throughout the community in Moscow and are a convenient stop for consumers. We will use a professional distributor with experience and knowledge of the local market in this industry to supply our products to retailers. A team of salespeople will be hired to work for and represent the company in Russia. They will be paid a commission plus potential bonuses based on their sales. The salespeople's job will be to contact different online retailers, discount stores, and the pharmacy chains to purchase our bulbs. These companies will then make the final sale to consumers affected by SAD. Russia has many of the same advertising outlets that are typically used in America. Social media, search engines, billboards, and other print methods are widely popular. However, the more popular websites and social media platforms in Russia are different than in the United States. Instead of Facebook, sites called VK or Odnoklassniki are more popularly used. Instead of Google, Russia's primary search engine is Yandex. The company should use VK, Odnoklassniki, and Yandex to flood the media with information and advertisements for the product. Other physical advertising will include ads on the metro systems. In Moscow alone, the 9 million people who ride the metro daily can be reached through our advertisements. This would require getting permission from the government to advertise and then inserting our printed ads into as many metro cars as possible. Here is a sample storyboard for an advertisement for Solnce-Bulba. The opening scene is a series of several people of different ages and genders walking into the metro surrounded by a dark cloud representing their depression or sadness. Depicted here is a man with his cloud of sadness, but in the actual ad, there would be many people without clouds walking past. The people then enter into the metro car, standing out from the crowd because of their cloud of sadness. The people sit down to ride the metro and look up to see our logo ad on the wall. The sun at the top of the bulb begins to shine and fill the screen with sunlight. They are now no longer surrounded by a dark cloud, but have joy instead. The scene switches to a hand screwing the light bulb into a light fixture common in Russian homes, and the light turns on. The final scene shows our logo and brand name. Solnce-Bulba will be sold individually for $9.95 in US dollars or 653 rubles. They can also be purchased in sets of 4 for the price of $35 or 2,297 rubles. Prices for competitors' bulbs range from $9.95 up to $107, respectively. It is recommended to use a lower price point with the goal of gaining a larger share of the market. Most fixtures will require multiple bulbs, and this packaging strategy provides a cost-effective way to get our product into the consumer's home. Using a penetration strategy, it was determined to use a lower price point in order to gain a larger share of the market. Placing our product in the lower end of the competitor's pricing spectrum allows for maximum market growth. Most fixtures will require multiple bulbs, and this packaging strategy provides a cost-effective way to reap the mood-boosting benefits of the product. Although the initial price will be lower than the target price, it will encourage early adopters to try the product and can result in word-of-mouth advertising and a larger market share. Due to the originality of the product, there is a need to educate consumers on its benefits. This will require a larger promotional budget for the first 6 months on the market. After this period, advertising will be scaled back to be more in line with the competition's advertising. Although the penetration pricing plan will reduce revenue in the beginning, it has the potential to increase market share in word-of-mouth advertising, which is one of the primary goals of this pricing plan. The ramp-up period will cut into profits slightly. However, since this is not a long period of time, it should not have a significant effect on the overall profit for the year. Much consideration was placed into determining the best modes of entry for this product. Licensing, franchising, and a turnkey project were eliminated fairly quickly. Licensing occurs when a company charges a fee to allow a different company to produce and sell that product. A franchise business is one in which our concepts, expertise, and branding is used to open an independent business. Each of these two methods requires a sharing of proprietary information and has the potential of creating a competitor. A turnkey project is one in which we would hire a company to coordinate and get the business ready to be operated. We would simply be providing the financing and labor once the business is up and running. Again, this requires a sharing of proprietary information and can create a competitor. Additionally, this is an extremely expensive method to start up a business. Once those modes of entry were eliminated, we took a closer look at contract manufacturing, wholly owned subsidiaries, acquisitions, mergers, and joint ventures. We also needed to determine whether we would be exporting directly or indirectly to the consumer. First, we looked at contract manufacturing, which basically means outsourcing the production of products to a manufacturing company. This comes with many advantages. First of all, it saves time and money because we don't need to build, maintain, and run a manufacturing facility. It also offers additional flexibility. If the company needs to change the area the production is done in, they simply need to wait until the contract is over and find a new contract manufacturer in the new area. The contracted company will have expertise in manufacturing in our field, as well as systems in place to change the production rate and integrate new technology when needed. Some of the disadvantages of this method is that there is a risk of the technology being stolen, as well as potential conflicts about cost adjustments and pricing. We also considered opening a wholly owned subsidiary, which would operate independently from the parent company. However, as a parent company, we would still maintain control of that subsidiary. Some of the advantages of this would be that it would have a perception of being a Russian company, which will help open the door in the Russian market. However, again, the parent company does remain operational control. The parent company can leverage contracts and relationships established by the subsidiary, and it does simplify some of the financial reporting. Some of the disadvantages of this option are that coordination between the parent and subsidiary can be difficult, and there is a danger of overestimating the value of the subsidiary. We also considered acquiring another company and establishing ourselves as the clear owner. Some of the advantages of this are that we would gain control of the acquired company's knowledge, and it would enable our company to grow more quickly, as well as acquire a knowledge of the local culture. Some of the disadvantages are that this is an expensive task, and it can be difficult to absorb the acquired assets. Many times there are duplication of roles between the companies, which may require elimination of positions. Also, there have not been any viable companies that have been identified for acquisition in this area. We also looked at the possibility of merging with an established company in Russia to become one. Again, some of the advantages of this would be that we would gain control of the company's knowledge. It would enable our company to grow more quickly, and it could give the perception of the Russian company, which may increase the sales. Some of the disadvantages are that there are possible organizational differences between the companies, and duplication of the roles may require the elimination of positions. There also are some costs and liabilities. We would assume all liabilities of the firm, and it will involve some complex legal issues and consulting fees. Again, no viable companies have been identified for a merger. Finally, we considered a joint venture in which we would join with another company to create a new entity altogether. The venture would have its own identity while the originating companies maintain their original identities. Some of the advantages of this option would be that we would share the risk and the costs with the other company, as well as sharing resources. It would also give us access to new distribution networks and markets. Some of the disadvantages of this option are that it would reduce flexibility. Both companies would need to be in agreement for major decisions, and a possible clash of culture or management styles, as well as the necessity of sharing technology with a possible competitor. Taking the advantages and disadvantages into consideration, it is recommended that a combined mode of entry, wholly owned subsidiary, and contract manufacturing be used to enter the Russian market at this time. The perception of a Russian product will help boost sales, since Russians do tend to be loyal to local brands, and the time and money saved by not having to set up a manufacturing plant will be invaluable. The contract manufacturing will allow the bulk of the company focus to be used in marketing to the new area rather than the manufacturing of the bulb itself. By contracting with an existing light bulb manufacturer in Russia, it will lower the production costs and build working relationships with local merchants and distributors. Sales online will be exported directly to the consumer, while the distribution to discount stores and pharmacies will export the product indirectly to customers. In manufacturing, there are many variables that can interfere with the quality and quantity of the product. When using a contract manufacturer, it is important to build a good working relationship. In order to help mitigate those risks, we will maintain a quality personnel at the plant and conduct routine checks to ensure the best quality and quantity of the product. A level of safety stock will be maintained in order to ensure a large enough quantity is maintained in order to meet the consumer's needs. There will also be a contract in place to enforce penalties in case quality and quantity obligations are not met. The three most relevant sourcing companies to be suppliers to import this filament for the spectrum lighting would be Sanquin Zhangao Enterprise Company, Zeta Products Limited, and Jin Lighting, which is also known as Shenzhen Company. Sanquin is based in China and was founded in 1978. The main production base has a staff of more than 20,000 people. They are known as Asia's largest household electrical appliance production base and are in cooperative partnerships with big companies such as Philips, Toshiba, and Walmart. Sanquin has an excellent reputation with international buyers and sends out over 14,000 shipments annually. The downside to this company is that China is not with the free trade agreement like they used to be, and so tariffs are more expensive. They will cost about 30.9 rubles per kilogram of parts. Next, we have Zeta Products, which has been in business since 1977 and are based in Taiwan. Zeta has always had a track record of on-time deliveries to international companies, but the bank transfers for payment to companies in Taiwan are difficult and complex. Also, their geographic location makes international transport problematic. Taiwan and Chinese have troubled relationships that prevent Taiwanese companies from crossing through China. Finally, we have Jin Lighting, which was founded in 1972 from China. Jin Lighting is a leading international manufacturer of functional lighting. The factory size is about 7,000 square meters. They have grown to over 2,000 employees with an annual turnover of about 50 million US dollars. After careful consideration, Sanquan is recommended as the sourcing company. China has a relatively short trade route, and they have also begun constructing a new project called the New Silk Road, which is a trade route that will accelerate and reduce the cost of delivery of Chinese goods to Russia. Their excellent reputation with international buyers put them over the top in consideration. The filaments will be shipped by boat from the warehouse in Zhangzhou, China to St. Petersburg, Russia. The voyage from the port of Xiamen, China to the port of St. Petersburg will take about 25 days. Once they have arrived in St. Petersburg, they will be transported by truck to the contract manufacturer for production. The total time for the shipment will take approximately 55 days. This allows time needed for loading the ship, the berthing period, the unloading time to customs warehouse for release, and the truck loading and unloading process. The entire transport cost would add up to about $5,000 per shipment. The company will need several documents for clearance to ship the filaments. These documents include freight declarations, contracts, import licenses, certificates, and licenses to import. There is a tariff of about 14% of the total cost of the items being shipped. It is important to have a clear organizational hierarchy. It is recommended to use a polycentric staffing approach. Russia is known for its executive business talent, therefore it will not be necessary to use expatriates in this venture. The global CEO of the Russian branch will head up the venture and will work closely with the American CEO in order to ensure the branch's goals and objectives are met. As you can see in the org chart, the Vice President of Logistics and the Vice President of Sales and Marketing will be reporting to the global CEO. The Vice President of Operations and Logistics will oversee the Human Resource and Office Administration Manager, the Finance and Business Manager, the Compliance Manager, and the Manufacturing Liaison. The Vice President of Sales and Marketing will oversee the Distribution Manager, the Sales Manager, and the Marketing Manager. Each of these individuals will have extensive responsibilities and should be compensated accordingly. The benefits packages will include stock options, health, medical, dental, and a retirement plan. The recommended salaries will be in the range of 6 million rubles for the president, which is the equivalent of about 92,000 US dollars. The vice presidents would be in the range of 4.5 million rubles, which would be about 69,000 US dollars. And then the managers would be compensated approximately 2.2 million rubles per year, which is about $34,000. Although these salaries may seem to be on the low side, they are higher than the average salaries in Russia and will help attract the right talent for the job. I'd like to thank you for your attention. Please let myself or any of my team members know if you have any questions.